We're rolling video. There's Mama. There's Pierre. Pierre's going to tell the story if I don't ruin things. Okay, well, you got your lease. That's good. You got your lease. That's good. That's my tripod. Your lease, my tripod. Speaking of tripods, that's what the story is about. I took my pole and I went over and I said, I'm going to keep it over at the end of the bridge over the Icicle Creek, because they got the trees right there. I can put it down, nobody will see anything. I'll go fetch it right at the end of the driveway. You know where I mean?
Oh, the Icicle Creek?
This creek right behind the house. You know where they're putting the fence?
Oh, okay.
And you know this road right here, Clinton Road?
Yeah.
So Clinton Road, where the creek is, there's a bridge for the road to go over the creek.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so at the end of that bridge are some trees down in the water.
But how do you get...
It's a long pole. I stick it in.
Oh.
And I lean it against the trees, and anytime I want it, I just go and grab it. Nobody knows any the wiser. So that was my thought. So then I'm carrying it to the library. And I figure, I'm watching myself from behind walk. And I had a nice talk with your friend Billy in the wheelchair. So he saw me rigging it up, and I took our picture and stuff. That was nice to hang with him. So then I went to the library. I parked my pole in a stand of trees right next to the library, and it's disguised instantly. I just lean it in with the trees, and it's gone. Fit right in. So then I went into the library, and I'm sitting down. I put in my computer. I get the hard drives out, and I realized that in that bag that I carry that says Creativity Cafe is my whole enchilada, my creativity kit. My glasses, my hard drives, the wires I need, the stereo microphone, everything in my accoutrement for supporting Peter, except for my MIDI guitar, is in that bag. And I had it out on the table. And then I thought, I'm going to make a time-lapse movie of everything on the table coming off one by one. And that way, when I play the movie in reverse, it'll look like there's a table there, and all of a sudden, all this shit is piling onto it. It's just popping on, or dissolving on, whatever. It's getting on there somehow, and it's magical because there's no hands, right? Time lapse. So then I said, well, but to do that, I need to put the camera high, and it won't be high enough on my wheelie bopper. The pole is perfect. I should get the pole. So I went out to the side of the library. I come in, not saying a word to anybody, with this long pole, you know the one. And I walk over, and I start rigging my camera to it. And once I get the camera rigged, the librarian comes over, Agnes, and she says, is this going to be a problem? I said, I don't know. They're warning me already, she says. I said, well, just let me finish. It'll only take me a minute. Don't say anything. And she walked away. And I kept on doing what I was doing, rigging the pole with the iPhone at the end of it, with my wheelie bopper, holding it down, and having the tie wraps, the bungee cords to hold the pole firmly so it wouldn't flop. I tested it, it wouldn't fall. So then I went about hearing the clicks, removing an object, hearing the click, removing an object, and a librarian comes in halfway through and he says, is this going to take you long? That was nice of him, rather than say, get that all out of here. He says, is this going to take you long? I said, no, 2 minutes and I'll be done. Well, I hadn't bothered anybody. Nobody noticed it but the librarian when I walked in, and she called the alert. Okay, so then Agnes comes over, then the second guy comes over, and I'm already taking pictures as he's talking to me, and I go back to removing all of the objects, click, remove an object, click, remove an object, click. And then finally, I'm done. And I leave everything piled up. I took it off the table, piled it against the wall. The computer, the flashlight, the magic gloves with the lights in the end of it, my 2 flashlights, a gumball, one of those, what do you call it, the super hot sucking candy things, and a elastic cord, a bungee cord. It was all on the table, now piled against the wall. So I took it off. I left it against the wall and just walked out of the library with the pole with the iPhone. And before I did that, when I turned around, I looked behind me, and there's Bob and 2 guys with tags looking at me watching me with the old evil eye, you know. And I said to him, as I walked by with the pole and the iPhone at the end, I walked by and I said to him, I'm sorry, I didn't know I was going to do that. I had no idea when I sat down I was going to do that. It was just a burst of inspiration and creativity. What can I tell you? It didn't bother anybody. I walked right by them. They had some comment about that. I don't know what it was. I was too busy just glad that they didn't arrest me. And I walked out of the library and stuck the rod back in the trees where I had gotten it from. And I would have taken it from there on the way out of the library, but Bob was sitting there on those chess table concrete things. You don't know because you haven't been back there, but he was sitting right there. I couldn't go to my secret hiding place or he'd have spotted me, and I don't want anybody to know, so I left the pole there and just kept walking. But how is that for a little terrorizing of tenafly by your dear son? I mean, a Gestapo was in there ready to shoot me because I walked in with a tree limb. Who else would walk